Hello and welcome to the Botanical Biohacking Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Andrew Miles. Today we're going to talk about Aphrodesiac Bacteria. Herbal aphrodisiacs are the majority of herbs sold online for better and worse. And I get it, optimized mating, especially for mating season around Valentine's Day, it's a good idea. It's a way to make Valentine's Day special. And granted, some herbs have been shown to increase blood circulation in the genitals, improve sperm production, quality, sexual stamina, and even ejaculation. At least in mice. You see, doing these tests on grad students, soldiers, and prisoners of war is no longer politically correct. It's not exactly socially acceptable either. And this officially ended in the 1960s-ish, after some of those dolphin mating experiments turned weird. Yeah, I'm not even joking. Look it up if you dare. A lady named Margaret Howe was not only teaching a dolphin to speak by squeezing air through his blowhole, she was beating him off, for science. This was all harmless fun until she stopped, because someone decided that it was weird. Well, that dolphin, it got sad. It got so sad that it swam to the bottom of the pool and drowned himself. And that leaves me with just one question. What is her phone number? Because, my God, she clearly has the gift. And what happened in that dolphin? Isn't that unique? Triggering orgasm can be an effective way to make people, and apparently dolphins, fall in love with you. A process known in America as dating. Okay, legal team disclaimer. We at Botanical Biohacking do not advocate the dating of animals, aquatic or otherwise. Thank you. A recent study in humans, thank God, concluded that orgasmic frequency correlated positively with satisfaction, intimacy, passion, and love. Through the power of oxytocin and dopamine, people get addicted to each other. Over time, this can fade, and along with it, the perception of your beauty. Of course, you're never truly ugly, so long as someone else is hornier than you are plain. This wisdom was told to me by a friend. Someone is always hornier than you are ugly. And his mother told him that. It's the kind of depressing truism that doesn't quite make it to a bumper sticker, but it's something that's pretty good to remember. So Hollywood fantasies of love aside, it seems the key to love is to keep your lineup of mates as horny as possible. Thankfully, this may be correlated with good internal organ health and microbial diversity. In a recent article titled Differences in the Gut Microbiome of Women with and Without Hypoactive Sexual Desire Disorder, 24 women were studied. Now, this is hypoactive, so these women who were being studied just never wanted to have sex. The study found a bacteria known as Ruminococcus. We're going to call it Rumi, the Persian poet of love. Yeah, Rumi correlated positively with sexual desire score in all subjects. They concluded that the preliminary findings could be useful for developing strategies to adjust the level of human sexual desire by modifying gut microbiota. So keep this in mind for your harem, your captives, your basement buddies, or just people you may be dating. Maybe a long-term spouse or partner. If you want to keep the engine revved up so that you look beautiful in their eyes, you may want to enlist the help of Rumi. Now, Rumi gets wiped out with antibiotics. That's not to say antibiotics are bad. Sometimes they save your life, and that's good. But after the fact, if libido takes a huge drop, it may be worth looking at remediating the gut and building up some of this Rimunococcea. I don't know why they make words that are unpronounceable in every language, but there we go. So these Rumi bacteria are also reduced in chronic kidney disease. And this is interesting because in East Asian medicine, the kidneys are seen as being associated with sexual function, and particularly a gas that is produced in the kidneys called kidney qi, kidney qi, depending on what nation you're in. So this Rumi bacteria increases a gas called hydrogen sulfide, which, when it is depleted, is associated with low sexual function and low kidney function. Now, if I look at East Asian food therapy and herbal practices, I can get a sense for what may or may not be cultivating the Rumi bacteria. So the first thing I thought of was walnuts, because this is just easy to find at most grocery stores. And I looked it up, and apparently there are changes in microbial communities following the addition of walnuts to the diet. And according to one study, they do in fact increase Rumi in the body. And diet therapy isn't alone. There are herbs, one herbal formula that is just the go-to for kidney problems and sexual disorders, both, is called Liu Wei Di Huang Wan. And there are two herbs in it that are kind of the king herbs or the main herbs of the formula, and those are Shanzhu Yu and Di Huang. And these are used in Qingwei Shenqi, Liu Wei Di Huang, this family of herbal formulas. And both of these herbs, when combined, have been found to increase the Rumi bacteria. And they're not alone. There's a substance called Fucoidin, which is found in the cell walls of brown seaweed. This is an aquatic herb used in East Asian medicine for over 2,000 years. This is called kunbu in Chinese or kombu in Japanese. And it's the same root word as kombucha, tea, which is, now that I think of it, it is kombu, which is kelp, cha, which is tea, and then you're saying tea. So you're kind of saying seaweed tea. Anyway, acupuncture apparently also helps with the regulation of gasotransmitters and microbiota and may be beneficial for the Rumi bacteria. And Qigong has also been found to aid with this in one study on PCOS. And personally, I think it's good to do both, because you're not just flipping a switch, even though at a genetic level, yes, herbs do act to sort of flip a switch. However, by way of microbiota, you're not just flipping a switch. You're growing and cultivating life within yourself that has a feedback mechanism with this switch. So after being on herbs for anywhere from 2 weeks to a few months, depending on what needs to happen, you can start to cultivate your microbiota in such a way that they continue the healing process. They continue to sustain that long term. So it's not the case that you need to take something forever. I have a friend who's a cardiologist, and a patient asked her, "How long do I need to take this?" She said, "No, you just take this. You want to live, you take this. This is the rest of your life, you take this." And there may be isolated cases in herbal medicine where this is also the case, but it's not that common. Usually you take it, you adjust the body, you get off of the medication, you get off of the herbs as well. And this has been an approach I've always appreciated, is that you can use herbs to taper off, working with an MD, working with your GP, of course, you can taper off and get off of medications using herbs. And by way of using the herbs and then lifestyle, you can cultivate your gut microbes in such a way that they do the heavy lifting for you, and then you don't even need herbs. It's like you're growing your own herbs inside of you, if you want to think of your intestinal flora and fauna and fungi in this way. Through the aerobiome, the mixture of gas and bacteria that permeates you, sending out signals through the air. Just as the birds cry out in spring, singing, "Somebody fuck me! Somebody fuck me!" So too does your fragrance sing the truth of your microbial garden. And it doesn't matter what kind of perfumes you use to cover it, there are sexy smells because there are sexy bacteria, like the rumi bacteria, and they create sexy fragrances, like hydrogen sulfide, which smells like rotten eggs. Well, you don't want too much of it, otherwise it's a poison. But just that sweet spot will create a lovely fragrance that will make you naturally sexy, or at least make those around you horny enough that you become more attractive because they're hornier than you are ugly. Whatever works. Either way, you're going to get a hug. In cultivating your body internally, you can have a richer and fuller life. Now, whether that is a harem, a he-harem full of macho men, or your own village of gnomes. Whatever floats your boat, I'm not here to judge. I just hope that you have plenty of the rumi bacteria kicking around in your body so that you have healthy kidneys, a healthy sex life, and a long and prosperous and enjoyable mating season. In respecting tradition and science, you are not only taking care of yourself in a positive way, you are helping to usher forth a renaissance of sustainable medicine. So even if that just involves eating a walnut to help support your rumi bacteria, I tip my hat and say thank you. I hope you have a lovely Valentine's Day and a successful mating season. If you haven't already, check out botanicalbiohacking.com. If you're a practitioner, sign up for a practitioner account. I send out emails about once a week that have pharmacology, and it's just kind of a little brief snippet with the same types of content as you find in the podcast, just in a very easily digestible form. In the morning, you can just click through your email. It's a nice little reward, a nice little surprise that you can get, absolutely free, of course, and it will help you to remember and also develop your knowledge and understanding of botanical medicine. Thanks so much for listening to the Botanical Biohacking Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Andrew Miles. Somebody fuck me. Somebody fuck me. Somebody.